thing I remember from it is there was a line about "Let me get my long sword." Guy literally reaches for a gun, and it's on a plaque that says "long sword."
This is Baz Luhrmann's Romeo plus Juliet, by the way. We were having a
Are
Shakespeare
we live?
conversation. You were live. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey everyone, this is Luck. Powering on.
Lux said they can have this one out of context, so I'm like, yeah, okay. I just hit
Bet,
the so
say
yeah,
less.
so I hit unmute and I said, let's go.
Exactly.
So
That's
go off.
as much context as you're getting.
Yeah. Okay, Quickspeed, you're a little loud. Let me rebalance you guys again. I've
That's a first if I'm
yeah
loud.
yeah. Is this I gotta rebalance you guys. It's the whatever. We watched a fucking movie, I guess. I don't know. Did we? Did we watch a movie actually? Did that happen yesterday?
I think we were there while a movie was attempting to be played.
Yeah. Watched Elektra.
You
4 out of
watched
10.
us.
I'll see you next week.
It fell straight into the mediocre valley.
Yeah.
4 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
So okay. So the first issue for like because I think we first have to admit that we had issues with our version. I didn't even pirate it this time. like it was just available on Disney Plus. We flipped it on, and the audio
Audio.
was weird, right? Like it was really quiet to the point where in order for me to hear it, I had to like turn down like everyone in the call, turn my volume up to max, and like it was just not working right, and therefore we kind of missed like the first like 5 to 10 minutes of dialogue more or less,
We
and
did have subtitles on, so we were like
we turned
kind
it
of
on at that
parsing
point.
it,
We turned it on
but
at that
we
point.
yeah, but we also didn't care enough to rewind it because we were
Yeah.
pretty sure they didn't say anything of or words,
Substance.
consequence.
By the time we did have the subtitles on and we were like, okay, cool, now we can follow what was going on, we realized very quickly that no, it was not worth it to rewind, so we kept on trucking. um Not that the beginning is even that hard to comprehend. They throw a lot of words at you, but ultimately the premise of Elektra is like
Girl deserved
pretty
marriage.
simple. The premise is pretty simple, right? The issue is that they throw a bunch of lore at you initially, right? About the hand and about all the, the trainees, assassins, something about, Japan, something Orientalism. We're going to talk about the Orientalism in this movie.
I'm sad
It's
that
not
that's
the worst I've ever
probably the
seen,
biggest point of
but it's
topic
quite
for this
atrocious.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um like okay, comics kind of have a bit of an Orientalism problem to this day is the thing. So I feel like on one hand nothing I saw here necessarily shocked me,
Shocking.
no more than what I'll see in like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, honestly. Like my other hot take, TMNT also has an Orientalism problem, guys. You just don't want to talk about it. Um like
Listen, they're
yeah.
just turtles, right? Fighting against. Oh no.
Fighting against oh no. Oh no. Right? Like every single Japanese person that actually does appear, because at least they started actually adding in more Japanese characters into TMNT, but it's always like done badly. Right? It's always done badly, and it's clear that like the whoever's like writing it got all their information about from Japan like through like
With a
old
quick
kung
Google
fu
search.
movies. Maybe a
Listen,
quick
this is
Google
why
search.
Bebop and Rocksteady are the true antagonists we need.
It's like that the whole like honestly that deserves its own whole essay. Like what
Mhm.
TMNT, even reading some of the recent comics, I'm just like sometimes it's just like sometimes it is atrocious. Like it just
Oh
how
no.
yeah. Sometimes it's not it's not very good at times. Um, but like Elektra. This is a discussion about Elektra. Elektra is an assassin who wears Victoria's Secret model corsets and 6-inch heels to assassinate people, and um and god damn it, this I'm already at a loss for words. I don't know. What are we supposed to talk about today aside
How
from
about
This movie made me reevaluate because this movie was so dull. It made me start to think, huh, was John Wick actually
I'm
good or was I stupid?
Because it's very much aping off of that like kind of action movie. Like it is
Genre.
trying to be that kind of action movie, that kind of like specifically genre of action movie, but it is not succeeding even a little bit. And why it doesn't succeed is a topic for I'll say there's like maybe three big discussion points. Paradox C says paint drying greater than Elektra. True. There's like three main discussion points, I think, right? So like
Yeah, wait, real
one
quick, before we get into
oh
one of the discussion points, Quickspeed, you're about to say something?
I would just say we could pick it apart by act and then critique why this act is dull and what went wrong. And I
all
know
the
you had a
acts are
lot to say about the
all
actress too.
all the acts are dull for the same reason. That's not
Yeah.
they're all dull for the same reason. We could do that, but we
Because
get
they're
really
white
redundant
women?
quickly. That's a part of it. Okay, so like there's like three issues, right? Like three main ones I think we could talk about. Maybe
Yes.
more. Actually, I'm just gonna start listing out like big issues, and then we're just gonna here. I will add some extra notes just so we can keep track of what we're talking about here, right? So like number one, because my actual
Bad
notes at the end of the
dialogue.
day. Okay, that's a part of it, but I feel like that's really easy to go over. The dialogue is bad. It is stiff. No one talks like a person. That's let's
I have authority issues.
when the 13-year-old girl just comes out and says directly that she has authority issues, like
No teenager would ever admit that.
no, that was yeah, but that's
They would argue that they're right.
but okay. Um Three big critiques we can go over. First one I think that's worth talking about is feminist critique, right? Well, maybe we'll leave that for a
Yeah.
second one. Feminist critique can be can be one. We're going to so feminist critique. So number one, why this is a bad action movie. Number two, feminist critique, and number three, Orientalism. Those are going to be our three big points, right? Is this
Yeah.
satisfactory? Any extra
Yeah.
big points you want to add?
Uh, if I think of another point, I'll bring it up when it's relevant
Because
or when it's not.
because one thing I think we did actually agree on, right, was that the directing here, the shots, the like, there's some competence on display here. It's why this is not going to hit the bottom of the list. This is not completely incompetently made. The issue really is the writing for the most part, and
Yeah.
perhaps the casting choice of Jennifer Garner. But in a lot of ways, this is not incompetent, right? It's not incompetent in the same way that Blade Trinity
Yeah,
was.
we didn't have a lot of thing to say about like actual movie cuts and like the lighting or like CG effects
No.
and stuff like that.
Yeah,
No.
it was shockingly competent, and for that I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah, correct. It's not like with Hulk where it's like every single department is not without sin, right? Like
It's on fire. Everything is on fire.
every single
which
single
made it
department.
funny.
That did make it funny, but that's what kind of made this a very dull experience at the end of the day. We were all just like, it was
Yeah,
an
it's
hour and a
boring.
half. We were all like
Mediocre
begging
Valley.
for death. It was
And then the
yeah.
one thing we thought would die didn't die.
Oh yeah.
We
the
were
one.
begging for more action, and then when the action came, we're like, oh,
We're like,
this is
oh
boring too.
no, oh no. Yeah, it's like bloodless superhero action, which that's it.
Fart clouds.
Yeah. We can
Everyone
build.
just poofs like
yeah.
the Kingdom Hearts Heartless.
In fact, how about our very first point, right? So why this is a bad action movie? So look, you made a John Wick comparison, right?
That I did.
So I quite like the John Wick movies. Do you have anything to
Yeah, 'cause it
expand
feels like
upon?
yeah, because here,
I hate
this
to be
is
the
kind of.
person that says I have not seen John Wick though.
Well, then
Have you seen the
you don't.
ballerina?
She
What?
doesn't have to comment on this. Look,
I
continue.
I'm
was
just being
kind of
upfront of
assuming
how
there was a
bad my
no.
movie knowledge is for, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone can laugh
Basically.
at me. It's okay.
I
I never seen
Okay.
John
Okay.
Wick.
Yeah, basically John Wick, for those who don't know, is a movie of a former super assassin dude is in retirement, things happen, he's now back as an assassin. And reason why I was starting to make the comparisons to John Wick is because John Wick is widely known to be a pretty solid film, pretty good film, a lot of people's favorite films.
Mm.
For me, I was thinking, all right, so assassin movies, they tend to follow similar beats. Here, this is just boring. Are all assassin movies like this? Was I just stupid for liking John Wick and being kind of okay with seeing a lot of the subsequent films in it? And no, this movie was just boring.
I'm
Because
gonna
with John Wick, we have a solid through line of a story. Here it kind of felt floundering. Lily, feel free to take over. You're about to say something.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna like crack open a little bit of what I think you're feeling here because a lot of how so why you felt that comparison initially was mostly for structural reasons, but this one like kind of fucks up that structure is the issue.
Mm.
John Wick or movies like John Wick because this predates John Wick obviously. Um
Yes.
tend to have a very slow quiet start, right? The idea is that you start off with the protagonist, and Elektra is as written not dissimilar from John Wick, though she is not retired. She is taking a bit of
Stoic
distance.
assassin.
She is a stoic assassin who has some trauma, who like clearly has a lot of baggage, but and who is like kind of in this transitionary period where she's trying to figure out if she wants to go all in on being an assassin, if she wants to be a bit of her own
Settle
person.
down.
Yeah, yeah, settle down. And a lot of that's boring, but that's more safe for the feminist critique. Um
Mm.
like so you start off first off with a mission of hers, which was a mistake. It was a mistake to start off immediately with an assassination job because if anything the structure of the movie seems to point towards like at the
Your
end,
rise
yeah, yeah.
to the big assassin.
Yeah, yeah. At the end, she puts on the costume in a way that feels like it's supposed to be triumphant, but that moment is lost because she puts it on within the first 5 seconds of the movie, and you see the costume, and it's real stupid. And yeah,
Yeah, I
so
also do want to bring up the beginning action scene. It was basically used as exposition, which kind
yeah,
of sucked out quite a bit of its enjoyment.
it was exposition. It was part time exposition, part time aura farming, and it succeeded as neither of
Neither.
those things because the exposition is packed so tightly, you don't really process any of it, and it's better just honestly understood by just watching the film and figuring out as you go along. And the ore farming is mostly ruined by the fact that she looks like a Victoria's Secret model, and that's not me taking a pot shot at Jennifer Garner is a very pretty woman. We all know this. It's more about the
It's
horrible
costuming.
costume that they put her in. Yeah, 6-inch heels with the corset, with the low cut pants, with the sparkly ribbons is not really how this character should ever be dressed.
Yeah, especially after you showed me like what the comic version of her it looks like, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
that's
I got to
it's
agree
very
with
like
you there.
different.
jarringly different.
Very different. And then it's not like the
I
comic
kind
book
of really like the
version.
Daredevil version you showed.
The Daredevil version is really cool, but her looks in the comic books are racy. They are very sexy a lot of the times, as comic book costumes often are. But this is almost going further. This is almost going like
Victoria's Secret.
yeah, yeah. The fact that it goes straight into Victoria's Secret with the corset top and the ribbons and the low cut pants, you know, like yeah, I was
It sets
describing
a
to you,
tone
yeah,
for the rest of the movie
yeah, yeah.
about
There's something about those comic designs where it's like even though they are really sexy, they have references and they serve a purpose and they inform the character to some extent. While they're definitely not beyond critique, they are better than this.
Yeah,
Quick speed before I continue
yeah,
on about my
because
structural critique that kind of got derailed. Say your
no, you're
piece.
good.
Okay.
No, you're good. I'm just agreeing with you that it does set a tone for the rest of the movie about
Mm.
how this character is going to be treated, and it delivered on that
Mm-hmm.
horrendously.
and something I real quick wanted to say is after that first action scene, the costume is not seen until basically literally the end, and we kind of had forgotten about it, or at least I did. So when she came out with it, I was like, oh,
It's
oh yeah,
very
this
yeah.
is
It's still
this.
really bad.
It's
Ew.
still as
Yeah.
worse as it was in the
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah.
And now we're really gonna, what was the line at the end where he's like, "We'll meet where it all began, and it will end at where it all began," or something?
I
It's
don't
like,
give a
yeah,
shit.
I
Yeah,
don't
whatever.
know,
Who
man.
cares? Who
something
cares?
like that.
Yeah, yeah. Like so structurally, right, starts off with that. That's already a mistake. That's breaking structure, right? Right?
Yeah.
Then it goes into a long extended sequence of just her and her daily life in which you figure out a bit of the kind of person she is. But the problem is that it's really boring. Right? Like it goes on for way too long. John Wick, you
It
see his
lulls
normal
and
everyday
drags.
life for maybe 10 minutes, maybe less. This
Something
one
like that.
this one it was a full half an hour before we got to any story, basically. And that's insane for a movie that's only an hour and a half long.
I
Yeah.
forgot why we brought up the 20-minute mark, but I remember at the 20-minute mark, we were genuinely surprised it's been that short /
Yeah.
that long
Yeah.
without anything happening.
Yeah.
It was just 20 minutes of playing house.
20 minutes of playing
It's
house and doing fucking nothing.
that 20 minutes
Yeah.
that 20 minutes genuinely felt like 40 for me.
If Jennifer Garner was a
It was like
better
it was
yeah.
like playing The Sims 4 and watching someone go around the sim in a freaking house.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. And remember, competent movie shots, so you're expecting something more to happen.
There was one specific sequence that if they simply did more of that, I think it would have saved probably this segment. But there's one sequence that I actually praised, right? Where she goes for a dive in like the ocean or the lake or whatever
Oh
wherever
yeah, at
she's
the
at. Yeah.
flashback.
Yeah, she goes for a dive in the lake and she goes underwater, surfaces, she's in a pool, goes down again, surfaces, she is herself as a kid, and you get a flashback of a kind of uncomfy scene of her being trained as an assassin by her dad. And that was interesting. I was like, I wonder. Okay, there's some going on. I perked up there, but we never got a sequence like that again. All we get is a dream sequence where she like sees the party, like a party
I
civil.
see
Yeah,
the devil from the
the
Bible.
devil killed
That's
her
exciting.
mom, but it's like the devil as
A
portrayed by a
metaphor.
guy in a rubber Party City mask. It's not that. It's like supposed to be like good special effects, but it's pretty bad special effects.
Fair.
Yeah. It doesn't look good. It looks silly. It looks out of place. It's like I know what they were trying to do here, right? Like the idea that she didn't
Yeah.
process what the guy looked
She's
like because she was traumatized, and
big
so she
scary
just
man
yeah,
killed my
is
mom.
it just a monster? But it looked instead all we could think of is the Sonic like snap cube, like it's me. Yeah. So you have a movie that that busts its nut too fucking fast. It has 30 minutes of absolutely nothing happening post that, and you are instead teased by occasional sequences that are quite good that do not pay off in any meaningful way. And then when the action does start, at like 30 plus minutes in, it's bad. It's like really 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 bad. Like I cannot emphasize, like it's not the worst action we've seen so far. The issue,
But
like
it's shaky cam.
yeah, it's a lot of shaky cam. It's hard to see. There's certain moves that the
Lighting
characters
is a
do.
mess as well at
Oh my, the
times.
Mario jump.
The Mario jump, I was about to say. Where
The
she literally just
Mario jump.
stabs a guy through the roof like Super Mario hitting a block.
Yeah, that was
And
incredibly silly.
to add a little more context to it as well, I would like to bring up it's been shown that she is very competent at throwing her size. And like here, just like, nope, I'm gonna Mario jump instead of throwing my bladed weapon accurately that I've done
And,
the
before.
and
Mario jump was
remember,
fucking stupid.
all of these guys that die turn into just fart clouds.
Yeah, they
So
all
it's
turn into
like,
fart
For
clouds.
reasons.
Yeah, all the
and that's
hand
not an
guys.
exaggeration. The coloring is like this greenish brown, yellowish color that just
It's
it's,
insane
it's insane.
and disgusting and like there it's all just so bad, right, like it's all like the action. I wish there's even more I could say about the action, but it's not even interesting bad in the way that Blade Trinity was, where it's like, oh, all the actors basically stopped, like all these otherwise competent actors and stuntmen basically stopped giving a shit because they hated the script this bad. It's like, no, they just didn't know, they just didn't know what they were doing. They I think they tried. I think they just didn't
I
know
think they
what
just
they were
didn't know
doing.
how to make
Yeah.
it better.
Yeah, I think this
I mean,
was
I did think the concept of some of like the main villains' powers were cool. Like the guy who could like
it's from the
summon his
Ink
comics. They didn't
tattoos.
tattoos.
do that. It's from the comics.
Yeah.
I know, but the thing is it's still cool.
Yeah, and Isolation probably was cool in the comics. Don't give him credit for that.
I mean, at least they did it. They could have chose to cut it.
And they could have actively made it worse on purpose, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess like small blessings, I suppose.
Hey,
uh,
We had
with this
very
line of
few.
movies, we gotta look for those.
yeah, why not? It's yeah. So honestly, that's like kind of the end of that line of questioning. Is like why this is a bad action movie. It's
It
paced
doesn't follow the
badly,
good. Yeah.
and then the action itself is just shit, and there's kind of nothing else to say on the matter, right? And okay, this is gonna be my arc into the feminist critique, but it doesn't help that Jennifer Garner is just horrifically miscast. Is this either? Right? Like I showed you a bit of what Elektra is
Well,
like in the show, in the Charlie
Yeah.
Cox show.
yeah,
And I will
and
say,
the
wow,
personality
I'm
is
feeling
very
emotion.
different.
Yeah, so Elektra, and I'm not the biggest Elektra fan, so if I make a mistake here, my bad. But as I understood her, she's a character who like, to understand why people like Elektra, they like her for similar reasons as to like why they like Scarlet Witch, from what I understand. Where, on one side, haha, girl hot. On the other side, you have a lot of women who quite like these characters because they are
Drama bitch.
yeah, I can't bring out the whole Hazel like Twitter thread, but basically they're female characters who are empowering in their messiness. I suppose they are power fantasies first and foremost, so they are still like powerful and competent, but they are like traumatized in a way that is like vague enough to be applicable but specific enough to be like relatable, and they are and they behave badly in a way that, oh, kill bot, kill bot, kill bot, kill bot.
Aye, aye.
There's
they
always one.
they behave badly in a way that is,
What's the ban
what do I
button?
say?
Oh, that's why I'm not in mod mode. Oops.
God, I'll ban him. Fine.
That's
That-
shot. I got it.
I already
Fuck.
did it.
Damn.
They behave badly in a way that is like, in a way that is not, in the way that is not sympathetic, is not understandable, but is, if anything, empowering in the way that they can, just be a female character that is, not clean, not likable all the time, right?
Mhm.
It's
I
like,
mean, I mean, it's kind of like when like the main protagonist is a man and he makes mistakes that
yeah,
are like messy or like destructive. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, anti-hero, or like, like it gets. I feel like it's sometimes portrayed in the light of like, oh, it humanizes them. They're not like a Mary Sue.
yeah,
I feel like for these characters, women can be messy too. Like but they can still be the people that they are.
yeah. Like, I don't
Like
know.
they don't have to be perfect.
Jason Todd can have a massive crash out and, kill a bunch of people and behead a bunch of, send a bunch of mafia guys' heads in a duffel bag, like to Batman. And like we all love him for that. He's a silly little guy. It's okay.
Mhm.
Like,
Quirky little guy.
but a female
Like you
character
can
does
still be a
that,
baddie and still be crazy and have crazy eyes.
yeah, but a female character does that, and that's oftentimes looked down upon. And Elektra
Yeah,
and Scarlet, Elektra and Scarlet Witch
it's kind of
stand.
like it's kind of like, honestly, it's sometimes like when crime, like real life crimes happen, like they'll always like, oh, I'm so shocked that this person did this, and there's always like kind of like long excuses, especially when like a family's involved and like described as, oh, they're a family man or a great father and this, but
Yeah.
like if a woman does it, they're never a family woman, or it's like you're a shitty mom. It's not, it's very different in
Uh,
how it's portrayed in news articles.
Elektra and Scarlet Witch stand as like characters where it's like, yes, we do support women's rights and women's wrongs. Like, like
Yeah.
And this is why people like them. They really managed to ride that line,
A
and
morally gray line.
yeah, in a way that is fun, in a way that is, like, yeah, yes, it's gonna be messy, but it's gonna be glorious in this messiness. And this movie fails to portray almost any of it, and it's a combination of writing, it's a combination of casting, it's a combination of acting. Like, all three things are in different, are in, in different weights, kind of contributing to this failure, right? You got the fact that, it's, again, if anything, the movie's just not written very well. The pacing of the
Yeah,
initial
it
part,
definitely
yeah.
starts with the script because
Yeah, they're trying to sell her as
Yeah.
this, like, empowered badass, but mostly she doesn't come across as that because she does
Plus,
nothing. And
plus the moral of the movie kind of contradicts that.
yeah, the fact that then they will
oh
then turn
yeah,
around and, yeah,
especially when they try to do the whole like misfit family unit trope
yeah, the majority of,
and
yeah, majority of the movie centers around a plot, where she gets to know this, like, 13-year-old neighbor girl who she sees a lot of herself in, and starts to get a lot of maternal instincts. And the neighbor girl's father, she has a bit of, like, a will they won't they thing going on throughout the film, and that is horrible and awful, and I hate it. And we were praying for both of their deaths throughout the entire movie,
as
basically.
we coined it,
Absolutely.
hetero
I was
slop,
kind
right?
Yeah,
head slop. Yeah,
a
that's
phrase I came
quite apt.
across, a phrase I came across this last week, and very apt.
It's so applicable.
Yeah,
We all thought the man was gonna die,
we
and then he
hoped.
I
didn't.
was
I
really
even
hoping.
said he was not gonna die as a joke, and then I came out of it right, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't want to be right."
Yeah, yeah. And, like, we acknowledge that, like, if he had died, that would have been trite and dumb and cliche. But what they
But it would have
instead
been
did,
interesting.
yeah, because the alternative and what they did was nothing, right? Like,
Yeah, nothing.
he does nothing for the entire movie. He's purposeless. There was no
Other
point to him being in the movie at the end of the day, because most of the,
other
like,
than just
yeah,
being a plot point for the beginning to
other,
even jumpstart it, like life support.
other than
I
just,
know, it's just like
yeah.
he is there just for the moment of, oh, I shouldn't assassinate this family.
Though all you needed
Yeah.
for that was the daughter. If he had, like, nothing in the film would have changed. In fact, it would have changed for the best, because then we wouldn't have had that weird kiss scene, and then that weird breakup scene where you're just like, okay, I don't care. Like, it was purposeless. He was purposeless in this, aside from
This
just,
is
they're
why
like, Elektra needs a boyfriend, right? It's like, no, she
this
doesn't.
is why John Wick did it, right? The main motivation was just pure revenge, and you killed my dog.
Literally, yeah. And Elektra's fun when she's, like, out for revenge. Like, she's fun when she's doing crazy shit like that. Like, that's why we like her. She's the type to be like, the whole,
The
like,
vigilante that
yeah.
doesn't do what she's supposed like is told to do.
Yeah, she's crazy. And this is why we like her. She doesn't need a boyfriend or a tiny girl child or any of that. And
She
yeah.
just needs trauma and a reason to kill.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, that's, like, the writing side of it. The acting side of it is the fact that Jennifer Garner absolutely cannot sell a, like, intense action badass. She is not good with this. Like, she is
She is not sociopathic enough.
no,
I mean,
you don't buy her as an action hero for even a single second. And some of that is just, like, how
no.
she tries to do all these intense stares, and it just does not come across whatsoever. And the other part of it is the fact that, let's be honest, she was just really, really badly miscast in this role, right? Like,
She's not a bad actor. It's just
this is
or
not
an
this,
actress.
this was not her. She should not
Not her
play
role.
superheroes, though. She should not be in action movies. Like, and she should definitely not be Elektra, because, and I showed you, right, Elektra in the comics is a more, like, olive skin
Greek.
toned, dark
Yeah, she's a
haired,
Greek
curly
woman.
haired Greek woman, right?
Yes.
Why?
And
Yeah, why is Electra blonde and white?
Jennifer Garner's, like, one of the whitest women I've ever seen. Like, like maybe not but like she's pretty damn white, right? Like you need at least someone who's spicy white in order to play Elektra. Which is why, thank God, on the Netflix show they have her played by what looks to be a Mediterranean actress. I will have to double check, but like there this no no like I don't no. Like I know that they're just
I
inheriting the casting from the Daredevil movie, right?
I will admit, looking at her face throughout the movie, all I could kind of, even with like the stoic vibes, I was like, it gives Hallmark a little bit.
She looks like
That's
she'd
kind
be
of what the
great in a
first
Hallmark
act.
movie. She like
Oh,
and she is good
I
in
mean, we
she
were
is good
kind
in
of joking,
dramas.
saying that. Yeah, we were kind of joking as well, saying like, "What is this Hallmark ass plot?"
She's good in dramas, she's good in romance films, she's a good actress, but she is not an action hero. She does not look like an action hero. She cannot sell being an action hero. Whoever put her as this did so only because she was hot, which is a disservice to her because she can act well. And honestly, I'll even throw her a bone and say like, hey, I think she was pretty good in Deadpool and Wolverine. I think if any, I think she actually like by then,
Held her own.
yeah, but yeah, by then managed to fit the part a little better. Um, and like,
Honestly,
yeah,
okay, I will say this though. I wish if they had better writing, the concept of her help, it doesn't even have to be maternal, like of how they portrayed it. It's just like the concept of her trying to save another like little girl from like the path that she was forced to be put through would be an interesting story to explore. It just wasn't done well in
it
this movie.
it was good when Bayonetta did it. Like like it
Hmm.
can be done well, and it
Yeah.
can still be like it can still be feminist in the way it does it. I think really the main issue here is generally the presence of the man. I think that's like 90% of the issue, right? Like that's
Has
what kind of
nurtured
Yeah, there
issue.
was no,
I
I
can see
didn't
yeah.
that.
feel like there was a reason for any kind of relationship at all. It could have just been like more of a like Guardians of the Galaxy scenario where it's like, you know what, we're misfits, like we'll make it work.
It,
But instead they wanted to make it romantic
if
with the
yeah.
thinnest reasons possible.
If it was just her and the girl, I think it would have been a non-issue, right? Like, but the fact that you involve the guy and it becomes more about like becomes less about Elektra connecting with this little girl who reflects her and more about
What about Rob?
is Elektra gonna settle down or not? And
Honestly, it would have been even more interesting if they gave the guy like a serious like fucked up backstory of like, oh yeah, he did like this shady deal or whatever. Like even
I'm
his
gonna be
own
honest. I
reasoning for
forgot his
everything was
backstory.
bland.
his backstory was nothing. His daughter was
Was just a prodigy
just a
and they
prodigy.
wanted
Yeah.
her, yeah, his daughter was basically just a martial arts prodigy, the treasure, and so the hand wanted her, and so he had to go into hiding to protect her,
Yeah.
But
and
also,
that's why
something,
the
something.
assassins
My
are being
wife's
sent.
died.
She was completely he was completely pointless at the end of the day. It really
Yeah,
just
it's not
felt
like he
like
was a
yeah.
martial arts master
No.
himself, or like, or he made like
He he
took
he
out a, like a loan from the hand or something.
he threw one knife really good. That was about it. It implies that he has some experience, but like he and even just the fact that at the end like it's kind of framed as like this choice, right? That it's like like she parts with them. He breaks up with her and then she parts with them, and I was just kind of there being like, again,
What's the point?
if he wasn't here, it wouldn't be an issue. If he wasn't here, right, why can't she just go off right into the sunset with her
Yeah, if he
with her
was
daughter?
literally removed from the plot, you wouldn't notice.
Yeah, it would have. At the end we were just kind of baffled, and by then we were just like done, so I'm not even sure if I missed some important context there, like as far as that ending goes, but it just felt really odd and just
I
weird.
mean,
Like
even with extra context, it still kind of sucks.
it still kind of sucks that she like after all that and after actually reconnecting with this girl, she like leaves and he breaks up with her, and it's supposed to be like Elektra's adventures will continue, where it's like, if anything, I thought our understanding was supposed to be that like she did actually like long for connection, I mean, actually, was
It's
that
no
even
contradict
ever
territory
was that even
itself.
ever like enforced? The idea that she longed for connection.
Yeah.
Uh, fuck if I know, bro.
Yeah, here's the thing. In movies, right? Typically, protagonists have like desires, and motivations, right? They probably should have tried giving her a few of those.
Yeah, because yeah.
Things kind of just happened.
Things kind of just happened, and her reasons for doing things never went much farther than I'd feel bad if I killed a kid, I guess. And guess I gotta stop this kid from dying. And ostensibly by the end you're supposed to understand that she grew to love this kid, but it's communicated in a really clumsy way. Like at one point the kid comes in with like a wig to disguise herself, and she literally sees the like actress who's playing young Elektra for a second. And I
You know
doubt
what?
I
There
would
was
have yeah, I doubt I
this
would have
movie
even
didn't have
noticed
any
if they didn't have
major
the subtitles.
this movie didn't have any major plot twists, so it was very
No.
a well, this happened, now this happens to said character, and that was the pattern throughout the whole movie.
The plot twist,
There wasn't.
there's two plot twists technically, but neither of them land is the issue.
Mm,
It's mostly for pacing reasons and writing reasons that neither of them land, right? Like one, the girl is also like an assassin, right? She's also like was like trained, special.
yeah,
And
she's a
yeah.
prodigy.
Yeah. That
What? But
that's
here's the thing:
Specialty,
we
yeah.
don't know that information until an hour into the movie. There's
well,
30
yeah.
minutes left, including credits.
Yeah, we don't yeah. That's issue one. Issue two is that the information is not surprising. It's framed as a twist, but you're here with this little girl who is clearly important, that clearly everyone wants to get their hands on. There's got to be something up with her, right? Like answer one is she's some super
Yeah.
weapon. Answer two is that she's otherwise special. The fact that she is like a martial arts prodigy is the least interesting answer they could have possibly given.
It would have been way more interesting if it was like a mutant martial artist. That would have been interesting.
It seems to be implied at first because she does like something special with the chain, that looks like magic.
Yeah, like
But
glowed
Yeah, but they
yellow.
don't. But they don't say it.
yeah,
So
later on they're just like, no, she's just like that good at punching people that the chain that she
It,
uses
it was
glows.
kind of just
I don't know.
boring.
It was. The second twist happens really late, where it's like, turns out that like main hand bad guy that's been following them was the one that
He's
killed
from the
Elektra's
Bible.
mother. He was the devil from the Bible the whole time. uh and you don't care. You don't care because you probably weren't thinking that hard about who killed Elektra's mom is the issue, right? That's not really like set up
yeah,
as a mystery is the
more
problem.
like just something that happened to her, and that's
Yeah.
why she's the way she is now. It's not like it was gonna. We didn't think that was gonna be like a revisited topic. This is the guy that did it.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
It's never set up as a mystery. And usually why you do something like that generally is because you want to give the hero, that like this time it's personal kind of motivation, right? You want to emphasize not only like why in the plot they should be fighting this bad guy, but also why personally they want to like they would want to do this, right? But the issue is that you don't give a shit. It's like
No.
I
the
think the main way to sum this up is don't.
no, there was no mystery surrounding it. You weren't wondering who killed the mom. You weren't wondering who this guy really was. He was just some
And
guy.
Elektra herself didn't make it like a motivation of hers to find the guy that did it, or like a revenge plot. Like it's not like her character was like talking about that as
Wasn't
if it's
focused
like
on it.
something she wanted to do.
She has one nightmare about it ever. Like occasionally you'll see her go back to that place, but like it's you don't understand whether it's like for that specifically, or maybe we just weren't paying attention. I don't fucking know. And again, it's like,
It's entirely
yeah,
possible.
you have this hand guy who's like the main hand guy who is being propped up with the movie in the by the movie. He's the main bad guy. He's like one of 5 hand members that you even know the names of. Like, fucking course he killed the mom. Like, if you thought about it more than it's not a surprise. It's just we weren't even thinking to think about it.
we kind of just thought it was like, okay, this is just backstory stuff that haunts her. Okay, that's fine. Then like, I killed your mom. How does this change the
Yeah,
dynamics in
yeah,
any
it
way?
was it was like one, yeah, I guess that makes sense, and two, who cares? Like,
You're gonna kill each other
it
anyways.
was already
So
personal. Who care? Why?
yeah.
Yeah, it was already. You were already trying to kill her like surrogate daughter. Why does this add anything? Like,
Mm.
uh, but honestly, we've been kind of talking about the feminist critique for a little while here, but like we can,
Orientalism.
I know, I got one more, feminist critique point.
Okay.
In it, I guess. Actually, do I? Fuck. We talked about the costume. We talked about the head slop. Um.
Do you want to talk about the girl kiss?
Oh yeah, the girl. Not really. I'm not. No.
Okay.
Elektra does not get a happy Pride Month. You do not get a happy Pride Month. That one.
That
Yeah.
is literally a comment we had made. It was just like
Yeah.
nobody reacted to it.
We're
It was
like,
just like,
no.
hey,
Well, as Lily put it, this one was for the guys, and that's why it's like
Feels
it
male
doesn't get it.
gazy. Feels male
Yes.
gazy. I was just like, no, no, no. I know.
yeah.
No. It was I don't think this movie is. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna assume that this movie is not like a cult classic amongst lesbians. I'm gonna assume not. Uh, but like, I don't know. I feel like I should have more to say about feminist critique because this is ostensibly a movie that is trying and failing to be like a 2000s girl power thing. But I think the issue is that there's not even enough 2000s girl power elements to really like sink your teeth into. It gestures towards those elements sometimes, but it's not really performing them in any way that's worth talking about, either successfully or unsuccessfully, right? Like she's hot and well dressed, I guess, but only honestly when she's in her costume, right? Like when she's wearing everyday clothes, she looks pretty normal in a way that you never get the indication that she particularly cares about her appearance. She surprisingly, especially when you look at this costume with the 6-inch heels and the Victoria's Secret stuff, not terribly feminine. Um, she is yeah, there's just, I mean, even in the context that this was made, I can't imagine anyone found it particularly interesting or on brand. It's just, again, you see the costume and you're like, okay, I guess this is kind of trying to do something like that. It just doesn't work because it looks like shit.
Honestly, we
um,
didn't look up the budget. I kind of want to see if it made.
oh, probably it was too high. Probably was too high. I bet you anything.
See. So it says the
More than
budget
it
was
probably
between
deserved.
43 to 65 million, and the box office was 57. So there's a chance that it was a loss.
No, it was a loss
I
either
mean, if you
way.
also factor in advertising budget,
Yeah, advertising budget was a
Yeah,
loss no matter what. No way this made
yeah.
anything in DVD sales. So it was a loss for sure. Not a big loss, but enough of a loss that they were like, "Oh, I guess we're not doing another one." Even though you could feel that they like really wanted to do another one. They put Stick in this movie. They wanted to do another one. In fact, the fact that Stick was in this
it
movie but
felt
not
like
in
they.
Daredevil was kind of was a little insulting.
I mean, seeing the end as well, where it's kind of like, oh yeah, she has to go back to status quo. Like, oh, okay, they're plotting more stuff, and like, yeah, no, this was a one-off.
Literally, who cares? Like, let's just move on to the Orientalism talk. Like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
Yeah,
the feminist talk is over. There was the worst part of it that there's nothing interesting to say. Orientalism talk. So there's a lot of like vague gesturing at Japanese culture, right? One thing I'll find a lot of the times in certain westernized works is that they will supposedly make themselves specifically like referencing one culture, right? I'll think of Mulan as an example, right? Mulan takes place in China, right? But
yes.
if you watch Mulan, know anything about Chinese or generally East Asian culture, you realize that culturally, visually, it is all over the place, right? There's elements of Korea, elements of Japan, It is there are Chinese elements, but they're kind of being muddied in a way that, sometimes seems intentional, sometimes does not, right? And
Yeah.
this one is similar. A lot of Japanese elements, but Japanese elements don't seem terribly authentic. Even if I were to give it the benefit of the doubt and say that, hey, maybe this is just an area of Japanese culture or martial arts that I'm just not familiar with, because I'm not familiar with all of it, certainly, it still is kind of falling flat, because there's elements of Chinese mixed into some of it, for one. Like how the main hand guy, I think I looked up like a bit of kanji on his throat that says like resist, but it's like a
Oh yeah.
Chinese word. That's not a that was not a Japanese word that was written on that.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um there are, like, the bad guy crew that they roll with includes like a white guy, a white guy in bad Yakuza tattoos, a racially ambiguous woman with a mohawk, a black man with like a traditional Chinese haircut, um and
Yeah, like the ponytail. So
yeah, with like the shaved head with like the ponytail in the back and the kind of like thin, almost Fu Manchu like mustache, like goatee. Um, and you look at all that, and it's just like, this is a cultural fucking mess. Uh, what on earth am I looking at right now? It is, and this is where I made the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comparison, right? It is like trying to be Japanese, but it is also kind of throwing in a little bit of everything in a way that I'm like, okay, I don't know if you did this out of ignorance, if you're doing this on purpose. I don't know what's
or
going
if you just
on.
don't care.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what's going on, but it's not like good, you know? I don't know what's going on, but it's not good. My rule of thumb, especially when you are drawing from non-white cultures, is don't you
Get
can't
a consultant.
you can't treat it like a buffet. Yeah, like, one, yes, get a consultant for sure, but two, you can't treat it like a fucking buffet. You can't treat it like like you can't treat it like, oh, like I'll just add a little bit of this and a little bit of that from here and over here and over here. It's like, no, 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 don't don't fucking do that. You can't treat it
Gonna
like a
make a
buffet.
work in Europe where it's taking place in Italy. Everyone is wearing Nordic armor, and then people have English haircuts.
That is the equivalent. That is literally the equivalent.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and some are worse than others, right? Like there is a really interesting YouTube video about the Orientalism in Aladdin, for example. That one's like really egregious, and I like that movie. Um and like, this is not the worst I've ever seen. It is very, very far from the worst I've ever seen, but it is still like indicative of a problem that like plagued movies of this time, plagues movies to this day, honestly, to some extent. Look, you and me might end up,
And
you
it's
insert the Star Wars talking points here
oh
that we talked
no,
about earlier.
oh no.
um
I recognize the Nemoidians are very bad in
the
terms of certain
Nemoidians, yes, but
things.
also I don't even want to,
Oh,
I
the
don't even want to.
Buddhism thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
okay,
very
okay.
messy way that Star Wars presents like uh,
Eastern philosophy,
Eastern
but
philosophy
kind
and
of
religion.
uses Western lenses to disseminate it.
Yeah, making it messy and making and honestly,
Makes sense.
unintentionally, yeah, causing a lot of lore problems. uh but
But
like,
back to
back to Elektra,
Elektra.
god damn it. um
Listen,
Electra,
the
yeah.
reason I stopped you is because I would talk several hours about Star Wars
Well,
stuff,
I don't know,
and we
maybe.
can't have that here.
I'm not surprised.
We're
Yeah,
on a stream for Elektra. We
we're
got
on
to
a
get
stream
back to
for
it
Electra. Who
eventually.
cares? Who cares? Who cares? Well, you know what? Fuck it. We are no. Okay, I'm gonna finish this point, and then fuck it. We are talking about Star Wars. Why not?
Hell
Why not?
yes! Oh,
I
hell
got 30
yes!
minutes until I have to sit down for dinner.
Okay, 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 okay.
Okay, but let me finish this point though first, because and then we'll rank Elektra, and then we'll talk about Star Wars. Okay. Let me do this. So okay. So Elektra's kind of treating it like a buffet, right? Essentially being in, essentially having Japanese culture being a big backbone of it, but like making up elements, throwing in elements from different cultures, doing all sorts of things that do not really make any sense and just kind of shows a level of disrespect. They could
Yeah.
have, if they wanted to, actually
Not
just
even
yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say not even using it to represent a culture,
Mm.
more of to kind of cosplay it.
And a lot of comics are just kind of like this, sadly. A lot of it is inherited from comic
Cough, cough,
books.
Mandarin.
Cough, cough, Mandarin. A lot of it's inherited from comic books because a lot of comic book a lot of comic book writers from the 70s and the 80s, back when a lot of this stuff was first written, were just huge martial arts movies fans. And that's really fair, but they had they were receiving a pretty narrow view of what Asian culture is like through those, and this was further narrowed by the fact that a lot of the translations were really bad. Uh yeah, so that I kind of view it as like, okay, you can, and my frustration with a lot of modern comic book movies is that none of them try, right? Because like if you really wanted to, you could, like, no one would be mad if you like rewrote the lore to actually make it like culturally respectful. You realize that, right? People would actually be happy if you did that. The comic book writers would probably fucking thank you if they finally had a version, because you would have the budget to do so,
It's
right? To
kind of
get
just
sensitivity
legacy.
readers to do all this.
Yeah, it's unfortunately just kind of legacied in where no one's taking that step.
If a This is where I ask, one of y'all movie writers need to realize you have these budgets, right? You can hire sensitivity readers, you can hire focus groups, you can hire writers from these cultures, and you can get them to fix this lore. And if you do so well enough, the comic book writers will thank you for it. And because they do not have the resources to do all of those things, they have like they have like a week and Google, right? And like Google is helpful. Google has helped certain things shift positively. Again, I still have my gripes with how like modern TMNT sometimes does it still. I think they could do better, but they sometimes do, honestly. Sometimes it is quite good. Other times it's
Eh.
yeah, but you know, utilize your budgets, utilize this, try and make something that is culturally sensitive, and you could literally change comic books for the better. But you fumbled it, you fucked it up, and because you did have a budget that these original comic book writers who were just like 20 somethings, you know, probably had
No
like a
access
week
to.
of time to finish this up.
Yeah.
Because of that, I gotta hand you the L on this one. You had more resources than them. You did less with it. Fuck off. I'm going to put this I'm going to put this like below 1990 Captain America, above Hulk.
Valid. Yeah.
Okay.
No complaints. Like, it's not that terrible as those other ones. It's just aggressively dull and mediocre.
Aggressively so. Ugh.
Yeah. So I was teased about some specific topics.
I'm trying to think if it was like actually worse than the theatrical captain or not.
I
Yeah,
feel
we
like
laugh. Yeah. The theatrical captain made us laugh sometimes.
it did. I feel like we were more laughing at it here. This just was
We
boring.
didn't feel an emotion for this one. That one got a laugh out
That's
of us.
fair.
And also that one was made on like a shoestring budget. You feel bad for the director by association with the
Plus,
director's
it's like
cut.
even
I wanna weigh it heavier.
yeah. Plus, like even for it as a movie, it was kind of older than Elektra, meaning it didn't have as much precedent to draw from for superhero movies.
It was less. It's also less overtly offensive outside of some troops propaganda. But
Yeah,
we're gonna
but
get a lot
like,
of troops propaganda in these coming movies, so that's not even like
oh
not
boy,
even worth weighing.
oh goodness, that's
So
yeah.
Star Wars.
All right.
All right, so assuming you want to talk about what we were talking about a little bit in DMs,
Yeah.
so the light side and dark side of the Force. So they're in due to a lot of the extended universe stuff, which is dubiously canon,
Mm.
has begotten the idea of a gray Jedi. Lucas has kind of always stayed away from that, saying the dark side is an inherent, basically it's like akin to that, a sin. It's alluring, it's seductive, and if it gets a hold of you, then it will keep pulling you until you're fully in. The Grey Jedi says, well, we're just going to use dark side stuff, but still kind of do light side type of actions. As for me, I'm going to be entirely honest, when I was ranting to Lily about it, it's mostly because it kind of feels very fanficky to have characters like that.
Yeah, yeah. To just have this is my
And
very special little guy. He uses dark side powers, but he's actually a good
but
guy.
he's like totally good.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Anakin was just a skill issue because my guy can be good but still
yeah,
also
yeah.
do
My guy's
evil
built
stuff.
different.
Yeah. But then it was Lily who was also kind of telling me about, like, yeah, look, I know you're not that stupid to realize it's just fans trying to latch on to Eastern philosophies. I was like, yeah, Lucas definitely is leaning into the Western ideas of black and white morality, especially with sin being corruptive.
Yeah, so the issue is, right, is that he is Star Wars is 100% a Christian philosophy framework,
Yes.
which is not inherently, I'm gonna say not inherently bad, right? I fucking love Lord of the Rings. That's all that is basically, and that's perfectly okay. But the issue is that he is at the same time appropriating the language of like Eastern philosophy, especially
Monks.
like Buddhism and Shintoism, and completely misunderstanding it. You can really tell, right? He uses stuff.
Yeah. Like the
Yeah,
Jedi are literally space monks.
there are space monks. He talks about bringing balance to the force. There is the dark side and the light side to the force, and there are certain ways in which, if you are familiar with like cultivation novels, wink wink nudge nudge to all my Danmei girlies over here, that you know that like the it kind of is akin to like righteous versus demonic cultivation, which within a lot of these novels is more of a gray area than you would really expect, right? Like within those novels, going by what Luck described, there are actually quite a lot of characters that you could describe as being basically gray cultivators or gray Jedi, cultivators who like use demonic
The
powers, but who are but who are good, because a lot of the times demonic, demons in like Chinese stories are often
It's
used
just
as a
another
metaphor.
power
Yeah,
source. Not yeah.
they're used as a metaphor for like oppressed peoples. A lot of times demonic cultivation is more about like taking shortcuts, which, depending on what kind of dire situation you are, might be necessary. Right.
Hmm.
It frames it as being a desperate measures taken by desperate hurt people, and yes, sometimes used by very bad people, but something that is not inherently bad necessarily, even as there is a bit of
Yeah, it's more
necromancy to it.
something. Yeah, to what I was understanding, it kind of seems more like this stuff is kind of a shortcut with bad connotations due to external circumstance,
It is.
but it's not inherently bad.
And even and it also needs to be understood that like Buddhist morality, like what is considered like righteous or like bad, is like a lot different. Like a lot of the times what includes like demonic energy, it has stricter rules than you would expect, right? I think I was describing to you, Luck, that it's like that like what was the word that I had used? Uh, I literally have to pull up our DMs, or else I'm not going to remember what I had said.
I'm I'm actively pulling it up because
Actively
I
pulling
do
them up.
not know a
Yeah,
new Wonder
yeah,
Woman.
yeah, yeah. Let's say,
I'm
all
looking
the
at some of our
fucking pics
DMs. It's just
we.
kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah, our DMs are crazy sometimes.
Wait, but I'm just gonna use the search button.
That's
I kind of
yeah,
forgot
that's
about that.
smart. That's smarter. I'm just waiting until I.
First message I see. Anyway, that's why I think Star Wars would have been better if Maul and Obi-Wan got gay married.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Um.
Honestly,
Okay.
I kind of prefer them a bit more as enemies with romance coding.
I mean, can have both.
You can't have both.
Oh yeah, gotta get
Listen,
past.
their lightsaber duels should be metaphors for sex. Just
Mm-hmm.
saying.
Um. Oh yeah. Okay, this one thing that says so resentful energy, right? There's a concept of resentful energy in a lot of these, right? Where it needs to be made clear that it's not necessarily just negative emotions. Like the criteria for like negative emotions can be a part of it. Sometimes like key deviations can be a result of like poor mental health, for example. But
Mhm.
that's more like the disruption of key, not necessarily the like or chi, like not necessarily the like the introduction of negative, right? Like you know uh like if Anakin's feeling a lot of emotions and his mental health is going bad, this is that he and it was consistent to this kind of lore, he would not be going to the dark side. He would be going to the hospital. Like
He would basically be sacrificing his own body in order to protect everyone around him.
which would have been better. But a lot of times negative, a lot of resentful energy is instead like created by like ghosts resulting from improperly handled bodies with like specific burial rituals that are specific to Buddhism and to Shintoism, not um not just, oh, I had a sad emotion and now I'm going evil mode. It's a very these are all concepts coming from very specific cultural things that my
Context.
understanding of, yeah, very specific cultural context that honestly my understanding of is kind of limited. um
Mm.
but Star Wars is yet even more limited because they're pulling out words like these and then applying this to Christianity.
Yeah,
And
because balancing here is basically saying we're naturally at balance, but it was sin that makes things unbalanced. Whereas with more Eastern philosophy, sin actually take a step back. Sin basically being my shorthand for dark side.
mm,
Uh, but with the Eastern philosophy, balance would probably be more internal emotional balance,
yeah,
right?
let it be known that yin and yang is not about good and bad. Yin and yang is just masculine and feminine aspects. It's like specific, like
And like Anakin is oozing feminine energy.
it's oozing yang energy. um but
So is Obi-Wan.
yeah. But like it it is it is frustrating, right? And again, I don't want anyone to hear me say that and say that Christianity is the problem. Christianity is not the problem here. The problem is literally just that it's appropriation. Appropriation is the problem. The problem is that you apply these, you use these words, you use these concepts, and you apply them in a way that shows that you just don't really understand what you're talking about. And as a
And I know
result, it's
Lily's okay
consistent to
with
neither.
yeah, and I was gonna say I know Lily's okay with like Christian moralism in media. She loves Lord of the Rings, and
I
I think
love
you're
Lord of
kind
the
of okay with
Rings.
Narnia.
I'm okay. Narnia's okay. And
Yeah, like
Narnia's
I
all
said,
right.
kind of okay. Yeah,
I adore Lord of the Rings though, and that is one where it's like, yeah, Tolkien is coming from a
a
uh
very Catholic.
a very Catholic background. In his creation of the mythology, you can feel the Christianity all around it. Um,
Edu Iluvatar literally is just capital G creator god.
he is capital G creator god, and a lot of the wizards are angels, and like it's all very straightforward. It's all about like a battle in between good and evil, and
On the topic
Sauron is a very
of
like
Western,
Lucifer kind of character.
yes, like honestly, on the topic of Western philosophy, something I heard in some of the letters of Tolkien, like his personal stuff that
Mm,
wasn't really published in a post-mortem,
mm,
he was always struggling with the dilemma of the orcs, where he wanted to give his characters like, oh yeah, you don't need to have too many moral conniptions about just killing these guys, so they're just corrupted by Melkor. But then, if you are killing these corrupted beings, you must have to reason that they can be redeemed, because Eru is creator god, and that means they can probably be saved through him, which goes back to his Western Catholic philosophy
that's
of
where it
like,
stumbles a
oh
bit.
yeah, exactly. So he himself was struggling like, oh yeah, that kind of is an issue because in theory, they should be redeemed. Like, heck, even throughout the idea of like, well, maybe not all orcs are corrupted elves. Maybe some of them are corrupted creatures, like fantasy ox.
It's and this is maybe even better outlined in the earlier issue he had with dwarves, right? Where again, this is some of his absolutism kind of getting in the way of what he as he grew older began to realize was no, I'm phrasing this wrong. Yeah, like he was realizing that a lot of these philosophies, when taken to their logical extremes, lead to some pretty bad, some. Luck, say the words for me. Why are you letting me scramble?
I'm trying to figure out what words you are trying to say here.
Mhm.
You kind of just
Yeah, yeah.
introduced the vague idea of as he kind of
Dwarves.
got older. I
Right.
was like,
Okay. Okay. So dwarves, right? As when they're introduced, they are pretty anti-Semitic. They are basically almost inherently corruptible and bad. And then as he grows older, he realizes, hey, that's like kind of messed up. You know, maybe in this
as-
world where like
because
maybe not every creature should just be inherently one thing or the other.
yeah, because I do want to bring up, Tolkien had said his dwarves are analogous with the Israelis
Yeah.
because something something lost homeland.
hmm And it should be pretty much directly stated that the orcs are directly compared to Asians.
Yeah,
He uses a slur, which
which
I'm not going to repeat,
mm,
and so yeah, this is kind of him with him with his idea of absolutism, kind of fighting against that and coming to something that's a bit more balanced over time, right?
more tempered.
Yeah, more
Mm,
tempered, but it is still him like actively and fully exploring one consistent philosophy system and just coming to different conclusions over time and just trying to, you know, create something that he feels like reflects his actual IRL morality and beliefs, which involves changing sometimes for the better. And yeah, the
mhm.
issue is that Star Wars is just kind of consistent to nothing. And so it kind of just falls apart at the barest amount of scrutiny. Fans can introduce things that are like more interesting over time. They can try and argue for Grey Jedi and, you know, this and that, but it's all just fan speculation at the end of the day. And a lot of it still ends up being kind of shallow compared to what you can get if you just actually read a Chinese novel, one of these, you know, just like actually just read a book that wasn't originally in English for once.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, and like
yeah.
it definitely feels that some aspects of Star Wars probably could be improved if it was more focused on the light side and dark side. Probably just get different names. Dark side focuses more on volatile emotions, so you could probably keep people like, oh yeah, they focused on the volatile too much and got themselves unbalanced. Probably keep that as a plot line for things if you do want generic bad guy, which Lucas probably would.
Well, yeah,
But
yeah.
base,
Star Wars has a
huh?
general issue with honestly being just very black and white, not a lot of room for moral grayness. People have been complaining about that for years and years and years.
They've basically been complaining about that since Legends or Expanded Universe,
Yeah,
I should say.
yeah, basically, right? Because and this is always the thing that people say. This like the issue with Star Wars is that the first three films are honestly exceedingly simple little parables, basically, and then like y- you try and expand upon that, and you realize that the house is made of straw, basically.
Basically,
Yeah, and
like I'm a Star Wars fan as much as I hates to admit it. Yeah, it's kind of simple. It's kind of bare bones. A lot of the stuff kind of boils down to a basic hero's journey, and Lucas sometimes is as big of a detriment as he is a support.
yeah. So that's our lecture review.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're doing Elektra. I
Yeah,
forgot
yeah.
about that.
No,
Did
no,
we
we're
talk
Drowning
about?
in the sauce of Star Wars.
yeah, yeah. It's our
I
lecture
think we
review.
talked about Elektra for basically as long as we talked about Star Wars there, because I think it was like what 30 minutes.
Not quite. But yeah, that's basically our that's our whole discussion. That's our whole lesson of why you should probably, um, you know, if you're gonna appropriate a philosophical system, maybe do a bit more research and don't have all that research just be kung fu
Mhm,
movies or just Don May novels. Honestly, just branch out, branch out.
mhm,
Like there's a whole world of 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 Chinese and Japanese culture for you to consume and get into and learn from. Um, the deeper you get into that, the more deeply silly and stupid movies like these become. So yeah. And that's not just Elektra, but Star Wars too. I'm coming for you one day. I'm coming for
I'm
you one day,
probably
Star
gonna be
Wars.
drug into it.
Yeah, yeah. One day I'll fucking come for Star Wars.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah. For now though, I mean, I feel like this has been about where especially our negative reviews have been averaging out to about an hour. This one maybe a little longer than some of the others, but it doesn't help
It's
that
just because of the Star Wars
yeah,
talk.
yeah. It doesn't help that I've been busy today. I've been doing commissions. I started up a TikTok page today that I'm gonna start uploading to for a little while, semi-regularly, while I just catch up uploading all the old shorts, and then beyond that, at my leisure, whenever I come across something that I think is worth talking about. Um, and yeah, but Astro Boy video though. It's been out for a few days now. Um, yeah, give it a watch if you haven't. Give it a second watch if you have. The algorithm isn't being kind to that one for some reason, and I'm not sure if this is just a delayed reaction kind of thing, uh, or if just no one cares about Astro Boy. I'm not sure, but it's a well-made video, and yeah, deserves your view, I promise. Give it a chance,
It does.
please give it a chance. I do explain the
Just watch
story.
it.
If you're unfamiliar, I explain why you should get familiar. I'm trying to sell you on Astro Boy in this video.
And Pluto.
And Pluto, please watch Pluto.
Just watch it.
Okay, do the sign-offs. Do the funny little sign-offs.
Well then, everyone, this or Lurkers Shadows here for a while. Thank you for watching. This is Luck powering off. And remember everyone, lucky days.
And 3, 2, 1. Good
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 night.
night.
night.